Well, ahoy cruise nerds, and welcome back to the beautiful Disney Magic. Today is our last day, and we are in the Port of Nassau. And we're already docked. The ship is already cleared because we docked and cleared by 8 a.m. this morning, very early. And then we are going to go attempt to have breakfast at Cabanas. It is about 9 a.m., a little past 9. So we're going to see how it is craziness up at Cabanas. See you soon. Well, ahoy cruise nerds, and welcome back to the atrium here aboard the Disney Magic. And as you can see, Lumiere's, which is the main restaurant here on the Disney Magic, that is in the atrium here, deck 3 midship. But right now they are doing the Royal Gathering, and as you can kind of sort of see Princess Tiana behind me. And they also have Cinderella and Ariel as part of the Royal Gathering. So they don't do it like they do on the Wish or Disney Treasure, but it is nice to have that Royal Gathering available and to see the princesses all at once. Now, on this cruise, shockingly, they did have availability still same day. Oh, and I do have Goofy right there. Oh, here comes Goofy. How you doing, Goofy? You good? As always. You're looking fabulous. Favorite number 1. So he's coming to enjoy a little bit of the view right here in the Grand Hall. So I'm going to go grab a hug from Goofy, and I'll see y'all in a little bit. Well, ahoy cruise nerds. Welcome back to the stateroom. Mom and I had a pretty productive morning, fun productive morning. As y'all know, I was talking to y'all about the Royal Gathering, which is a little different from what we know on the Wish fleet, and as well as how it is done on the Dream class ships as well. Here we only had 3 princesses, which y'all saw: Tiana, Ariel, and Cinderella. And then Goofy came along. We had a nice conversation, and it was nice to just hang out with him on the balcony there, watching the princesses. He did say his favorite princess was Tiana in her gumbo. And then after that, Mom and I had lunch at the quick service, which was Daisy Delights. And I got some chicken strips and also some pizza from Pinocchio's Pizzeria up on deck 9. And you had the shawarma, right?
Yeah.
The shawarma is really good. That is only found on the Disney Magic Cruise Nerds. So if you want some shawarma, definitely.
I call it a euro.
Oh, yeah, Mama Ronnie calls it a euro on the ship, but it's that is found at one of the quick service locations here on deck 9 near the kids pool. And that pool area is really cool. It's more of a splash pad in that area, and they do have a slide back there, and there's also a splash pad that has Huey, Dewey, and Louie that squirts water out, which is pretty neat. And I love how they have the buckets that pour out the water. That's really different from the other ships in the fleet. And that's deck 9 aft near Cabanas and the drink station. That is one thing we forgot about, which was the drink station in deck 9 aft. And then we came back to the stateroom, and we sadly came to the realization that today's our last day of the cruise, because we got our Donald Duck luggage tag cruise nerds that we are in. They are going to be announcing the luggage tags tomorrow by character, so we're going to be waiting for Donald Duck to be announced tomorrow. And then we also got our gratuities. We prepaid them as always, and we went ahead and got those all set up for this evening. And also, if you do get the green slip, that just means you prepaid, so you don't have to worry about doing anything extra or pay anything unless you want to add extra gratuity to the dining team or to your stateroom host or hostess. And you can either do that through guest services or you can do cash, which is what we did, I believe. I let Mom be in charge of that. And then, so we're going to hand those out later this evening. We do need to get a picture with our stateroom hostess. That has become a tradition through the years. And we have seen many crew come by the door and point out, oh, I know that crew member, or oh, that person's my paisano, or neighbors and brothers and family. So it makes them feel good, and also it's really cool to see other guests see our door and see if they know anyone as well, if they have cruised in the past. So we're going to eventually take those down later tonight. Now, on the Disney Magic, as of this recording, the luggage has to be out no later than 10 p.m. So we are going to rush back after dinner, which tonight is in Rapunzel's Royal Table, and of course enjoy the show. Now, tonight's show is Disney Dreams, an Enchanted classic, which is one of my favorites over the years. So I think I better pack the tissues. Let me get that out of my bag that I packed. There's so much more to see. I think there's some trivia tonight, as well as family karaoke, so we'll go check out those later tonight after we get everything set. But in the meantime, cruise nerds, we're going to go ahead and get ready so we can go get in line for the show. That is at 6 p.m. tonight, or 8:30, depending on the opposite of your rotation, or rotational dining. So tonight, ours is at 6 p.m. So we got to finish getting ready, make sure that we have everything to go, like our popcorn bucket. We don't want to forget that. And cruise nerds, until then, we're getting ready, and I will explain a little bit more about the Walt Disney Theater once we get there. See you at the theater. Well, ahoy cruise nerds, welcome back to the Walt Disney Theater. We are waiting in line here at the Walt Disney Theater to go into the show, which is, once again, Disney Dreams, an Enchanted classic tonight, which is one of my favorites. So we are here early, as you can see. There's only one other guest here, and as of right now. But pro tip from an experienced cruiser: if you want one, to sit together, and two, have a good seat, and of course this depends on which ship you're on, you want to get here early and make sure that you get a seat. There is no reserving seats inside the Walt Disney Theater. Make sure that you have plenty of seats for everyone when you arrive together to the Walt Disney Theater. And like I have said in the past, make sure that you put all electronics bestowed beneath your seats. And I know that the cruise director, as well as the tech team here on board, will say those reminders prior to showtime.
It truly has been an absolute pleasure having you on board throughout the entire cruise. During this 4-night voyage, we've experienced so much together. From the exclusive rotational dining, including the elegance and enchantment.
Well, ahoy cruise nerds. So we just came back to the stateroom. We bibbidi-bobbidi boutiqued into our evening attire for Rapunzel's. We're about to head out to go take some final photos in the Grand Hall, or the atrium, and then before heading to dinner and say last goodbyes to some of the crew. And then we came back to the stateroom, and as you can see, we have this little bad boy. It is, of course, the rabbit. Oh, he is adorable. Once again, thank you to the housekeeping team for making the magical towel animals every night. We were always excited seeing them.
Making all my dough right now.
Ahoy Cruise nerds. Sorry about the whispering. I'm trying to be somewhat respectful for the other guests here. We are going back to the cabin. It was a busy night after dinner. I will go over the food menu items that we kind of sort of had. And after dinner, we came back, changed, got our luggage out, and then we rushed back to the atrium. As you all saw, we had Till We Meet Again, and that was so awesome to see. And it was just good to see the characters. We got some pictures with them, everything. But now we're gonna go back in the room, and I will talk more momentarily. See y'all in a minute, cruise nerds. Well, ahoy, cruise nerds, and welcome back. I am just gonna wrap up here for tonight. So, a few of the major things to remember to do on the last night is, of course, the survey, which you can do anytime between 6 p.m. on the last night of your cruise until you disembark the ship. And that will be the next morning when you get back to that port of call. For example, Port of Nassau, Fort Lauderdale, Galveston, wherever you may be porting from. That is one of the things definitely to remember, because that is important for the crew as well as Disney Cruise Line. That feedback from you is definitely important. Now, another thing to remember to do on the last night, and you've seen me do it on other cruises as well as mention it multiple times on this cruise, we did get the luggage out. Now, each cruise is different. Now, on this cruise, it was 10 p.m. So yes, so make sure that you have your luggage out by 10 p.m. on the last night of the cruise, at least here aboard the Disney Magic. Now, on the Disney Wish, it is 10:30, and I believe that is the same thing on the Disney Treasure. But of course, definitely check while you're on board, as well as on the last night of your cruise, the cruise director, for example, David, he will be going over and over again on the survey, debarkation process, luggage, the whole 9 yards. But in this case, 10 p.m., make sure you have all luggage that you want the crew to take off for you into the terminal. Make sure that is all out and outside of your stateroom door the night before you disembark. If not, you will be carrying all the luggage with you. Now, I do recommend, if you do need to get off super early, so I would recommend for you to keep your luggage and do the express walk-off. The express walk-off will definitely be your best friend, especially if you have an early flight or if you need to start driving home. For example, if you're going from Florida to New York or cross country, depending on where your final destination is, you'll definitely need to make sure that you do the express walk-off. And of course, the crew will definitely understand if you have to get off early. Now, if you are not doing the express walk-off, which will start around 7:15 approximately, and of course depending on your sailing that you are doing and which ship you are doing and from where. And then after that, approximately like 30 minutes after that, they will start calling by luggage tags. And these luggage tags you will receive the night before or the day before you disembark. So on the last day of your cruise, you will get that, and you might be Donald, Mickey, Minnie, Tinkerbell with a color. So definitely look and listen to the PA announcements that will be announced inside your stateroom as well as around the ship. Now, they do ask, they meaning the crew of the Disney Cruise Line, do ask you to be out of your stateroom no later than 8 a.m. in the morning due to a quick turnaround for the next cruise. They do have a lot of staterooms to cover to make sure that it is ready for the next voyage, so they do get those staterooms ready for the next set of guests. So no later than 8 a.m. for leaving your stateroom. Make sure that you do the survey, as well as make sure that you do check one more time inside your stateroom that you do not leave anything behind. As well as if you did prepaid gratuities, make sure you do hand those to the crew. They do appreciate that. Or if you did not prepay them, make sure you do check your onboard account that you are charged. And if you do want to opt out, that you can go by guest services and do that, but make sure you take care of that, as well as any documentation that you will need, like passports, driver's license, anything that you might need to share with the border agents when you disembark the ship to go through the terminal. But that's pretty much it for the moment, cruise nerds. But cruise nerds, I do appreciate you joining me for another cruise. This was just a quick getaway for me and Mom, so I do appreciate you just enjoying it, everything with us. But in the meantime, cruise nerds, I do hope that you have a great night, and I will see y'all all tomorrow morning for disembarkation. Of course, that will be a quick video as always, and I will definitely do some more vlogging in the near future before I head back to the ship. I do have some announcements. Alright, cruise nerds, have a good night.